After 10 years of love, Fu Ethan promised to hold a Chinese-style wedding for when Olivia. Until the moment the couple was about to bow to each other, when Olivia was about to bend down when she suddenly realized that the person standing in front of her was not Fu Ethan at all, but a husky tied up in a bright red wedding dress, whimpering. In an instant the hall burst into laughter. Olivia's face was pale, she looked at Ethan, her lips trembling. Ethan's attention, however, was on the woman beside him, his tone gentle enough to drip with water. "How is it? Are you happy? Didn't you say you'd never seen such an interesting wedding?" Lily nestled in his arms, unable to help but burst out laughing. She laughed, the woman who suffered from gelatophobia and almost never laughed, was now laughing uncontrollably. At this moment Olivia understood everything. There is no happy ending after suffering. There is no perfect consummation. He agreed to marry just to please another woman, to perform a comedy for another woman. And she was the clown in the phoenix coronet and bridal gown, kowtowing to a dog. This wedding not only amused Lily, but also made Olivia the laughingstock of the entire city. Her photos of kowtowing to a dog had already flooded moments, and some people even made them into videos and posted them online. When Olivia, wearing a xiuhi dress, walked out of the hotel in a daze in the rain, the waiters pointed at her, gossiping. "I heard a long time ago that Mr. Fu has a lover he cherishes and they've been together for 10 years. How can anyone be so ignorant as to try to interfere? Does she really think President Fu would abandon his lover and marry her? If you ask me, this is how mistresses should be dealt with, marrying a dog. It's going to be a laughingstock. Let's see how she marries anyone in the future." Exactly, I really envy Miss Lu being protected by President Fu like the apple of his eye. I heard President Fu set off 999 fireworks at the pier yesterday, just to make her smile. Each mocking sentence felt like a slap in the face for Olivia. When 999 fireworks? She proposed to him 999 times, but the day before their wedding he set off 999 fireworks for Lily. However, they didn't know that the person who had been by Fu Ethan's side, loving him for 10 years, was always Olivia. Fu Ethan was an extreme obsessive, and during their most loving years he was obsessively attached to her, to the point where he couldn't bear her leaving his sight. Once, because of a word of liking from her, Ethan Fu braved the heavy rain and ran through the entire city, just to find her a candy that had long been discontinued. Also, because of a quarrel, he confined her in the villa, entangled with her desperately, begging her like a madman not to leave. The most serious time, he slashed his arm with a knife until it was covered in blood, just because she said a word to another man. That year in the big fire she was trapped in the hospital. It was Ethan Fu who rushed into the fire and carried her out. Later, the scar on his arm from the fire was tattooed into a lotus flower, just because Olivia is the name of a lotus flower. At that time, everyone said that Fu Ethan loved her to the bone. She originally thought they would love each other forever, until she, as a psychologist, treated Lily, who came from a poor family but suffered from cataplexy. The first time Lily, who had never laughed before, saw Fu Ethan, she smiled. Under the guise of treatment, Lily appeared more and more frequently around Fu Ethan, but Fu Ethan, who was always aloof, did not stop her. As time passed, she realized something was wrong and proposed to Ethan Fu, but was rejected. "My mental state isn't completely stable yet, and rushing into marriage would be a disservice to you, Olivia. Please wait a little longer." She became increasingly uneasy and could only repeatedly propose to Ethan Fu to reassure herself. In just 1 year she proposed 999 times, each time Ethan Fu brushed her off with various excuses. Looking back now, it wasn't that we weren't suited for marriage. They were clearly all excuses because he already had someone else in his heart. When Olivia's heart ached so much she could barely breathe. Ignoring the gazes of others, she rushed into Fu Ethan's company in the rain, only to overhear his conversation with a friend outside the door. "The photos of you marrying a dog are all over the place. Aren't you afraid she'll get angry?" Fu Ethan's voice was indifferent, carrying the inherent pressure of someone in a high position. "It's just a joke. As long as it makes Lily happy, it doesn't matter whether Olivia gets angry or not." My friend clicked his tongue. "Are you really in love with that Lily? What about when Olivia?" Fu Ethan's tone softened instantly. "Only after meeting Lily did I realize what true love is. In this world she only smiles when she sees me. Every time I see her smile I wish I could give her the whole world. As for Olivia, she slept with me for so many years. Even if she hasn't contributed much, she's worked hard. I'll give her what she deserves. After a while we'll get married, but there's no need to hold a wedding. A woman who married a dog, there's no need for me, Ethan, to announce it to the world. A friend asked curiously, didn't you guys get your marriage certificate a long time ago? Gotta put on a full show. The marriage certificate is between her and that dog. The man's tone was casual, with the air of someone in a superior position, directly and frankly making her a joke for others to hear. In an instant Olivia slid weakly to the ground, unable to stop herself from trembling. So it turned out that even the marriage certificate was just a part of amusing other women. After 10 years of love, she thought she knew him well enough, but she never expected that to Ethan she was nothing more than a plaything. Listening to the voices inside, she couldn't help but gag, until physiological tears fell uncontrollably. Without going in, when Olivia limped out of the Fu Corporation building, tearing the marriage certificate she cherished to pieces with her own hands. The heavy rain washed away the debris. Olivia slowly took out her phone and dialed a number. I agree to send your brother abroad for treatment. A deep voice sounded from the other end. Weren't you unwilling to leave because you were preparing for the wedding? Did Ethan Fu agree to let you come out? This is my own business, I don't need his permission. I need to prepare a new identity, help me leave, and I will use everything I've learned in my life to treat him. She is the top psychologist in the country and can cure Ethan Fu's paranoia, and of course she can cure someone else. The man chuckled. Deal. Olivia put down her phone and looked at the brightly lit office. Ethan Fu, I don't regret loving you for 10 years, but this time, I'm the one who doesn't want you anymore. After the rain stopped, Olivia returned to the villa in a disheveled state. As soon as she reached the door, she heard chaotic barking from inside. Thinking of something, her face paled and she rushed in immediately. The scene before her made her dizzy. Ethan Fu held Lily Lu on the sofa, and the two of them watched the scene in front of them as if they were watching a good show, occasionally sneering. In front of them, a fierce dog was circling around her sister, from time to time revealing its ferocious fangs. The 10-year-old girl's eyes were dull and her face had turned liver-colored. Olivia rushed over like a madwoman and hugged her sister, yelling, Ethan Fu, you know Xiaoyu has a heart condition and is most afraid of dogs. Ethan Fu lowered his eyes, his tone cold. Lily likes her, just playing a joke with her. If it can make Lily laugh, Xiaoyu would definitely be willing. As soon as he finished speaking, you suddenly fell to the ground, convulsing. Olivia Wen's face changed and she shouted at the servants while holding Yu. Call the doctor, quickly call the doctor, my sister is having a heart attack. The maid said awkwardly, Madam, those family doctors were affecting Miss Lu's mood, so they've already been sent away. Olivia Wen was stunned, unable to believe that Ethan Fu had actually sent away the family doctors for Lily Lu's sake. He knew perfectly well that Yu's physical condition meant she couldn't be without a doctor. The person in her arms was convulsing more and more violently, and Olivia Wen was on the verge of collapse. 120. Call 120. Xiaoyu is dying, please save her, she's the only family I have. Yu tried her best to hold Olivia's hand, wanting to say something. Olivia leaned in close but still couldn't make out what she was saying. Xiaoyu, just wait, the doctor will be here soon, your sister is here with you. Tears fell like broken beads, and Olivia felt a blur in front of her eyes. She couldn't do anything but watch her sister slowly lose her life in her arms. The Fu family villa was remote, and by the time the ambulance arrived, Yu's body was already cold. The doctor took the body away, and Olivia gripped the stretcher tightly until her palms bled before letting go. Ethan appeared behind her at some point and hugged her. Don't be sad, I will arrange for someone to bury Xiaoyu properly. Olivia pushed the man away, trembling as she picked up her phone, about to call the police but was stopped. Ethan snatched her phone and slammed it on the ground, his tone indifferent, laced with warning. This was just a joke Lily and Xiaoyu were playing, she didn't know Xiaoyu would have a heart attack. Even if you call the police, it would at most be considered an accident. Lily hid behind Ethan, cautiously saying, Miss Wen, I'm sorry, that dog is mine, it would never hurt anyone, I just didn't expect you to be so fragile. Ethan frowned, comforting her. This has nothing to do with you, you just like Xiaoyu too much, you didn't expect something like this to happen. A joke? Olivia could hardly believe her ears. Her sister's vibrant life was just a joke to Fu Ethan? When Olivia trembled with anger and the next second she spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. Olivia had a fever of 40 degrees Celsius for 3 whole days. During those 3 days she dreamed of Xiaoyu's death every day, crying her eyes out in her sleep. On the morning of the 4th day she was dragged out of bed and thrown heavily onto the floor. Ethan Fu looked down at her, his stern face with a hint of ferocity. I said anything that belongs to Mrs. Fu except for love I can give you. Why do you still want to hurt Lily? Having just recovered from a serious illness, when Olivia looked at the man she had loved for 10 years and felt utterly estranged. She had a fever for 3 days and he came here but still for Lily. I didn't hurt her and I don't know what you're talking about. You're her therapist, her prescriptions all come from you, and the medication you prescribed has made her condition worse. If this continues she'll be in so much pain that she'll become depressed. Olivia gave a cold laugh, weakly defending herself. I have my own professional ethics and I've never had any ulterior motives when prescribing medication. They're all normal dosages. Even when she realized that Ethan Fu had fallen in love with Lily Lu, she never had a moment of selfish desire to harm Lily Lu. Ethan Fu didn't believe her. Stop trying to justify yourself. She only has you as her therapist. Who else could it be but you? Olivia suddenly felt incredibly ironic. The person who once said they would never leave her was now doubting her for another woman. She closed her eyes and said nothing more. Ethan Fu extinguished the cigarette in his hand and turned to leave. The next second several people came in and forcibly held her down. Who are you? What are you going to do to me? Olivia struggled frantically but was forcibly fed a few pills. President Fu said he wants you to experience Miss Lu's feelings. If you struggle again you won't see your sister's ashes. Olivia closed her eyes in despair and stopped struggling. The bitterness of the pill spread in her mouth, and physiological tears streamed from the corners of her eyes as her mouth was forced open. She clearly saw the words on the medicine box. It was medication for mental illness, which would cause hallucinations and induce depression in normal people. She never thought that Fu Ethan would force her to take psychiatric drugs for the sake of Lily. Nor did she expect him to threaten her with Xiaoyu's ashes. Her vision gradually blurred, and before the hallucinations came she had a very long dream. In her dream she returned to many years ago, the sun shining just right that day, Ethan Fu holding her under the wisteria, embracing her tightly as if trying to embed her into his arms. Anyone can treat Xiaoyu's heart disease. I will have the best doctors stay at home. But Olivia, my illness only you can cure. Because of this sentence she shifted her research direction from cardiology to psychology, becoming a psychologist. She thought that Ethan Fu would really take care of Wenyu, and also thought that he would always love her and never leave her. It turned out that everything had changed long ago and she should wake up. From that day on, every noon bodyguards would forcibly come to feed her medicine and would not allow her to leave the villa. A week later, under the influence of the drugs, Olivia's mental state deteriorated, and she spaced out for longer periods of time. That noon, the door to the room opened and Ethan Fu walked in, his heart suddenly lurching as he looked at Olivia who was huddled in the corner of the bed, lost in a daze. He subconsciously wanted to light a cigarette, but after taking it out he paused and put it back. Olivia said faintly, "Aren't you going to smoke?" "Lily doesn't like me smoking, so I quit." She thought she wouldn't feel pain anymore, but hearing those words Olivia's heart still ached with a dense pain. She had a respiratory condition and every time she smelled smoke she would feel uncomfortable and cough. She had also tried to persuade Ethan Fu to quit smoking but it never worked. But now just because Lily Lu said she didn't like it he quit smoking. Olivia turned her head and said in a low voice, "Ethan Fu, let's get divorced." As soon as she said it she suddenly remembered that they were not married at all, and what she had married was a dog. Fu Ethan chuckled, his voice as cold as ever. "Olivia, stop it. If you do something wrong you have to be punished. Lily finally smiled today and from now on no one will feed you medicine or watch you. As long as you don't hurt Lily again, you will still be the enviable Mrs. Fu." He paused, touched her face and said cruelly, "Besides, I said long ago that even if you die, you can only die by my side." The expected answer. She had always known that Ethan Fu was at heart the same obsessively stubborn beast, who would never allow his prey to leave, even if he didn't want it. Olivia sneered inwardly and squeezed out a sentence, Where are Xiaoyu's ashes? I've been obedient, can you give her back to me? Some things haven't been sorted out yet, wait a little longer. Ethan Fu was silent for a moment before saying this. Closing her eyes in despair, Olivia Wen didn't say another word. Ethan looked at her and suddenly felt that she seemed to have changed a bit. Before long, the sound of the door closing rang out, and when Olivia opened her eyes, she was going out for a while, and before leaving she had one more thing to take care of. The next day she drove to the photo studio. While waiting, the TV on the wall played the latest entertainment news. To win a smile from his wife, the president of the Fu Group spent lavishly, scattering banknotes from the highest tower in the city. Countless people fought tooth and nail to grab the banknotes, while Lu Lily stood at the highest point, watching their ugly behavior, and burst out laughing. The girl sitting next to her said with envy, "President Fu and his wife have such a good relationship. If I could marry a man like that, I'd die happy." See Ethan Fu. In the eyes of outsiders, Mrs. Fu is someone else. In the years when they were most in love, Ethan Fu never made her public. But in just 1 year, Lily Lu became the well-known Mrs. Fu. "Miss Wen, are you sure you want to destroy all these photos?" The photo studio owner held a thick stack of photos, his tone regretful. These were photos she had sorted out and brought to the photo studio to print before the wedding, hundreds of them, all of her and Ethan Fu. The first photo is of him carrying her on his back up an entire snow mountain after she sprained her ankle. The second photo is of her giving him their first kiss on a Ferris wheel. The third, the fourth. All the way to the 700th. 10 years of time, condensed into 700 photos. Tears streamed down as Olivia Wen softly uttered 3 words with a resolute tone, "I don't want it anymore." She took the photos and personally tossed them into the stove, watching as the fire gradually consumed them. The flames reflected on her pale face, making her appear somewhat ruthless. "Ethan Fu, whether it's you or the past 10 years, I don't want any of it anymore. Olivia Wen will never love Ethan Fu again. Never again." For back at the villa, Lily Lu was sitting in the living room holding the husky. "Dr. Wen." Olivia Wen originally didn't want to pay attention, but Lily Lu stood up and revealed a smile. "I heard that you had a performance in college where your skirt fell off, and private photos were spread throughout the school. Is that true? That's so interesting." The harsh laughter awakened Olivia Wen's most unbearable memories. That was the year of graduation. Ethan Fu's paranoia relapsed and he tormented her in bed all night. The next day she went to the graduation ceremony with marks all over her body. Unexpectedly, her skirt slipped, and someone took photos and spread them widely. Because of this, she was rumored to be a slut and bore the stigma of a harlot. That period was the darkest days of her life. She didn't even dare to go out, and this incident became a shadow she couldn't mention. At that time, Ethan hugged her and said he would protect her, but now he tells it to other women as a joke. Taking a deep breath, when Olivia coldly mocked, "If you think it's interesting, you can strip naked and sell yourself online. You should be very popular." Lu Lily's face turned pale and she suddenly grabbed her arm and fell backward. The door was opened and Ethan Fu walked in, his expression changed. He quickly took Lily Lu into his arms, his sharp eyes shooting towards Olivia Wen. "What's going on?" Lily Lu's tears fell like rain. "Mr. Fu, I asked Dr. Wen about some things from college and I don't know what made her angry. She not only humiliated me but also pushed me and tried to hit me." Covered in accusations, Olivia Wen shook her head in disbelief, weakly protesting, "I didn't even touch her. How dare you quibble?" Ethan Fu interrupted her roughly, "Lily is a patient, are you trying to kill her?" "Mr. Fu, don't blame Miss Wen, she may still be angry about Wenyu's matter." Olivia Wen's eyes turned red and she gritted her teeth. "Shut up, what right do you have to mention Wenyu? You're the one who deserves to die the most." As soon as she finished speaking, a loud slap landed on her face. Ethan Fu held Lily Lu, his face grim. "Since you can't control your own mouth, let others control it. Kneel here and take 99 slaps." The bodyguard stepped forward and mercilessly forced Olivia Wen to kneel. "Let me go." Olivia Wen struggled and shouted. The next second, loud slaps echoed throughout the villa, and Olivia Wen felt as if her bones were falling apart. Lily Lu snuggled into Ethan Fu's arms, looking at Olivia Wen triumphantly. The corner of her mouth was soon bleeding from the beating. Ethan Fu frowned slightly at the scene, instinctively wanting to stop. Lily Lu suddenly hugged him and sobbed, Ethan, am I really as awful as Miss Wynne said? Maybe I should just. It's none of your business. Wynne Yu's death was her own problem and has nothing to do with you. Fu Ethan consoled her, his gaze towards when Olivia turning cold once more. Add another 99 slaps until she knows she's wrong. The sound of slaps grew louder and louder. It was unknown how long it lasted, but the torture finally ended. With her vision blurring, when Olivia finally couldn't hold on any longer and collapsed. 5. When they were in love, Fu Ethan would feel sorry even if when Olivia's finger was cut. But now her face was swollen like a pig's head, yet Fu Ethan covered her face and vented his desires on her. Lily is not in good health, I'm afraid it will scare her. After getting his fill, Ethan Fu climbed off her, his tone unusually gentle. Olivia, she's not like you, she's innocent, obedient and only has eyes for me. Olivia Wynne felt a little nauseous. She didn't expect that even after they had just done the most intimate thing, Ethan Fu was still mentioning Lily Lu. Ethan Fu, you disgust me. The man wasn't angry, he laughed dismissively, gently stroking her hair as if teasing a pet. Just then a heart-wrenching scream startled everyone in the villa. Lily Lu knelt in the hall holding the corpse of her pet dog, crying her heart out. What's going on? Ethan's expression was awful as he reached out to help Lily up. Lily, however, looked at Olivia behind him and shouted, Miss Wynne, I know you hate me for taking Ethan away. But my dog is innocent, why did you have to kill it? Another bucket of dirty water was thrown. Olivia calmly explained, it has nothing to do with me. I haven't left my room all day. Lily, however, threw herself into Ethan's arms, sobbing as she said, Ethan, the butler saw Miss Wynne buy chocolate. My dog died after eating chocolate. I know she hates me. I shouldn't stay by your side and make her unhappy. Maybe I should just leave. With each sentence she spoke, the look Ethan gave Olivia grew colder. It wasn't me, Ethan Fu. You know I'm allergic to chocolate, how could I buy chocolate? Olivia Wynne took a deep breath. You can check the surveillance footage, it can prove that I didn't even leave the room today. The butler wouldn't lie, and Lily has no reason to use her beloved dog to frame you. Ethan Fu said something very cruel with a blank face. Since you're the one who caused its death, then stay and keep vigil to atone for your sins. Olivia's mind went blank. Keep vigil? Ethan Fu wanted her to keep vigil for a dog? He knew very well that 8 years ago she went with him to a remote island abroad, cutting off all contact with the outside world, but she didn't expect her parents to have a car accident. Because of that, she didn't make it to see them one last time, and since then she vowed never to keep vigil for anyone again. And now he was actually making her keep vigil over Lily Lu's dog. Ethan Fu, you're a bastard. She stepped forward and slapped him hard across the face. Ethan Fu's eyes darkened and he said in a deep voice, set up the morning hall and make her keep vigil for 3 days and 3 nights, not a second less. A morning hall was quickly set up outside the villa, with a dog's portrait placed in the very center. When Olivia was forced to kneel on the ground, held down and made to kowtow repeatedly, blood quickly overflowed from her forehead, streaming all over her face. Fu Ethan held Lily, his tone gentle, are you happy now? Your dog didn't die in vain, don't cry, it breaks my heart. Lily Lu burst out laughing and raised her head to kiss Ethan Fu directly. The sound of their kissing soon echoed throughout the entire morning hall. Olivia Wynne listened numbly to the disgusting sound with only one thought, leave as soon as possible. 7 days. She has 7 days left to leave completely. As night fell, the morning hall suddenly became eerie and terrifying. As soon as night fell, the bodyguards heavily locked the doors of the morning hall. Olivia Wynne panicked and rushed over to try to open the door. Open the door. Why are you locking it? Open the door. But no matter how she knocked, no one paid any attention. Until she was exhausted, Olivia Wynne curled up in the corner, tears of despair streaming down her face. No one came again and she was the only one in the entire morning hall. Without food or water, she stubbornly held on until the 3rd day, but no one came to open the door. Olivia's voice was hoarse. It's been 3 days, let me out. 3 days are up, Ethan, let me out. She collapsed weakly in the corner, her consciousness gradually fading. A sudden bucket of water splashed down, waking her up. Lily Lu looked down at her condescendingly, laughing triumphantly. Olivia Wynne, you're such a bitch, you're still not leaving after all this. Do you want to try and see if Ethan will choose you or me? Olivia Wynne was weak and helpless. watching as she took the candle from in front of the morning hall and lit the curtains. The fire spread through the room in an instant, and Olivia immediately felt short of breath. She tried to get up but couldn't stand due to weakness. She thought Lily must be crazy. Help! Help! She tried her best but couldn't make a sound. The fire alarmed Ethan and Lily shouted, "Help Ethan, save me, I'm so scared." Ethan's face immediately turned extremely ugly. How could Lily be in there? After saying that, he rushed in without regard for anything else. Seeing this scene, Olivia recalled the hospital fire that year, when he had rushed in and carried her out on his back. But this time the person he was running towards was Lily Lu. "Ethan, I almost thought I would never see you again." "Lily, don't be afraid. I won't let you get hurt." He scooped her up into his arms. As Ethan Fu turned around, his pupils suddenly contracted when he saw Olivia in the corner. Lily Lu clung to him, sobbing softly, "Ethan, I'm in so much pain. Am I dying?" Without hesitation, he held the person in his arms tighter and rushed out. The fire grew larger and larger, and Olivia knew she was about to die. Even though she had expected Ethan to choose someone else at this moment, she felt as if something was being ripped from her heart. The man who rushed into the fire for her, willing to give up his life, was gone forever. In the last second before losing consciousness, she suddenly felt both fortunate and regretful. Fortunately, she would be able to see her parents and Xiaoyu soon. Regrettably, she had actually loved Fu Ethan and lost everything for this relationship. "If there is a next life, Fu Ethan, I will never love you again." 6. When she opened her eyes again, Ethan Fu was sitting by the bed. The fire was put out in time and she only suffered burns on her arm. Nothing else was serious. Olivia turned around, and there was no trace of emotion in her eyes as she looked at him. Ethan Fu was stunned, perhaps out of guilt. He rarely lowered his voice and explained, "Lily has never experienced anything like this." She was terrified. "You're different, you have experience and you came out of this safely." It's because of her past experiences that she fears fire more than anyone else. Only Olivia didn't explain. She clearly saw that the lotus flower on Ethan Fu's arm had turned into a water chestnut shape at some point. The medal he left for her was covered by his own hand. Olivia Wen's voice was hoarse. "Can you return Xiaoyu's ashes to me now?" Before Ethan Fu could speak, Lily Lu appeared at the door of the ward. "Are you talking about Xiaoyu's ashes?" She nestled into Ethan Fu's arms, seemingly gentle but actually full of malice, and said, "The ashes were scattered by me in the mountains outside the city." "What did you say?" Olivia suddenly widened her eyes instantly turning scarlet. Protecting Lily Lu behind him, Ethan Fu explained, "Lily means well. Xiaoyu is young and hasn't been to many places. Scattering her ashes in the mountains and forests allows her to travel the world with the wind. Xiaoyu was a good girl." Lily Lu suddenly laughed. "That was the most interesting funeral I've ever seen. It made me happy for days." A wave of blood instantly surged in her throat. Olivia raised her hand to strike Lily Lu, but was stopped. Without hesitation, she turned and slapped Ethan Fu hard across the face. "Xiaoyu is so young, do you know how scared she must have been?" The man's eyes darkened and he warned, "There won't be a fourth time. This is the last." Olivia seemed not to hear, instantly drained of strength, her eyes staring blankly out the window. Until she was the only one left in the room after who knows how long, the phone on the bed suddenly lit up. She slowly picked up the phone and saw the text message she had just received. "Ready, you can leave at any time." Looking at this sentence, her tears suddenly fell without warning. The next day, Olivia tidied herself up and went downstairs, where Ethan Fu was holding Lily Lu on the sofa, kissing her. Olivia said calmly, "I'm going to the mountains outside the city." Knowing she was going to see Yu, Ethan Fu didn't stop her. While straightening his rumpled cuffs, he said, "I'll go with you, brother Ethan." Lily's eyes suddenly reddened and she asked softly, "Weren't you going to come with me to buy a pet dog?" After speaking, she shook her head again, dejectedly saying, "I know Dr. Wen is more important, brother Ethan, you don't have to worry about me, I can go by myself." After speaking, she turned around and ran out. Without hesitation, Ethan Fu immediately chased after her, leaving Olivia with a sentence, "Have the bodyguards accompany you." Having expected this, Olivia curled her lips in mockery, didn't call for the bodyguards and turned around to pack her things. She was preparing to see Xiaoyu one last time and then leave. But before leaving she prepared an unforgettable gift for Fu Ethan. Mountains outside the city. Xiao Yu, I'm sorry, it's my fault for not protecting you. When Olivia scattered Wen Yu's favorite snacks and clothes down the cliff. Your sister won't let you die in vain, but this time, it might be the last time your sister comes to see you. Xiao Yu, if you have any knowledge in the afterlife, you must not forgive me. As soon as the words fell, a knife was suddenly placed on Olivia Wen's neck. Fear prevented Olivia Wen from turning her head. She calmly asked, "Who are you? Let me go, I can give you a lot of money." She had seen in the news that some desperate criminals would hide in the deep mountains, but she never thought she would be so unlucky as to run into them. Money. The knife patted her face. How much money do you have? Someone offered 5 million to buy your life. Now that you're in my hands, do you think you can get out of here alive? 7. However, before I kill you, I can give you a chance to call for help. If he comes to save you, I'll let you go. The assassin took her phone and dialed Ethan Fu's number. Olivia. The man's breathing was unsteady, his hoarse voice coming through the microphone with a familiar sensuality. She was too familiar with this voice. Every time they were entangled in bed, Ethan Fu's voice was like this. Olivia Wen's palms were sweaty and she said in a trembling voice, "Someone wants to kill me, Ethan Fu, save me." A woman's moans came through the phone, followed by Lily Lu's voice. "Ethan, be gentle." The man grunted, his tone impatient. "Olivia Wen, this joke isn't funny." "I'm not joking." She bit her lip, trembling as she said, "As long as you save me, he will let me go." Pfft. Lily's voice suddenly became clear. "Ethan, which kidnapper specifically asked someone to rescue her?" When Olivia stopped playing tricks. "I don't have time to play these boring games with you." The phone hung up and Olivia Wen felt a chill run through her entire body. The next second, the assassin stabbed her directly in the abdomen and pushed her off the cliff. A sense of weightlessness came over her as Olivia Wen tumbled down, crashing hard into a tree on the mountainside, and finally landing on a stone platform. Her bones felt like they were about to break and she could clearly feel blood gushing from the wound in her abdomen. The temperature in the mountains is low and it will feel as cold as winter by night. When Olivia smiled wryly, wondering if she would die from blood loss first or freeze to death. A slideshow flashed through her mind, and the figure that appeared most often was actually Fu Ethan. Memories are like shadows. 10 years have passed in a flash. It's time to dissipate. If she survives, she will definitely live a life that belongs to her. As dusk approached, a fog suddenly rolled in over the mountain, and the temperature dropped below freezing. Her body temperature rapidly faded and Olivia Wen closed her eyes in despair. The sound of a helicopter grew louder and a helicopter flew in, eventually landing on the stone platform. The man got off the plane, relieved to see she was still alive. "Luckily I made it in time, or what would have happened to my brother?" Olivia Wen widened her eyes. "Mr. Gu?" Medical personnel filed out to bandage her wounds. As she was carried onto the plane, when Olivia said in a hoarse voice, "Thank you, rest assured I will devote my life to curing your brother." The man lit a cigarette, chuckled softly and said nothing. The helicopter took off, flying right over the city. When Olivia looked at the familiar lights of thousands of homes below, and suddenly burst into tears. "Mr. Gu, I need you to do me a favor. Just let Olivia Wen die here." 8. After the affair, Ethan Fu carried Lily Lu to the bathroom for a shower. "Brother Ethan, I'm finally and completely yours." Lily snuggled into the man's arms, playfully begging for kisses and constantly seducing him. Fu Ethan lifted his eyelids, raised his hand to stroke the woman's beautiful hair, somewhat absent-mindedly. A void seemed to suddenly open in his heart, and he frowned as he picked up his phone to return when Olivia's call. 2 beeps and a mechanical female voice quickly sounded from the other end. "The number you dialed is temporarily unavailable. Please try again later." "The number you dialed is temporarily unavailable, please." After dialing 3 times in a row, only this cold voice came through. Ethan Fu's face turned extremely grim in an instant as he recalled what Olivia Wen had said on the phone. Something might have really happened to her. In an instant, a sense of losing control washed over him and fear and panic surged into his heart. The Dr. Wen didn't answer the phone. Lily Lu nestled in his arms, dejectedly saying, "Those who are favored are fearless. I really envy Miss Wen. Even if she makes such excessive jokes, no one will blame her." So it was a joke. Ethan Fu breathed a sigh of relief, his tone lightening. In the future, you will be even more favored than her, no need to envy others. Lily Lu immediately stopped crying and smiled, giving him a kiss and playfully saying, "Then can Ethan accompany me to buy another pet dog, please?" Ethan Fu agreed, and before leaving he pinned her on the bed for another round. In the following days the two of them were intimate during the day and entangled in bed at night. Ethan Fu even took Lily Lu to auctions, and in full view of everyone he bid for a pigeon egg-sized gemstone and personally put it on her. The two's news made the entertainment headlines and they were called a model couple. But during this time Ethan wasn't as happy as he thought he would be, and even felt a little irritable. It wasn't until 7 days later that the butler came to him, saying that the madam's room had been empty for a week. Only then did Ethan realize that when Olivia had not only not contacted him, but had not even returned home. He took out his phone, but there wasn't a single message from Olivia when. In the past, after seeing those headline news, she would have called him to throw a tantrum long ago. She has no relatives or friends and her family has been dead for a long time. Besides the hospital, she has nowhere else to go. Ethan Fu's voice was low and cold as he said, "My patience is limited. Call the hospital and ask her if she's had enough." When the call went through, the hospital said that Dr. Wen hadn't been to work in a long time. "Maybe she's just in a bad mood and went out for a walk. I heard Dr. Wen used to love traveling, didn't she?" Lily feigned guilt and said in a delicate voice, "It's all my fault, she doesn't like me so she." But this time Ethan unusually didn't comfort her. Olivia Wen loves to travel and they used to go out a few times every year. But since Lily Lu appeared they haven't gone out again. This time she's throwing a tantrum, she probably went traveling by herself. Ethan Fu looked grim. "If you have the guts, never come back." "President Fu, something's happened." The assistant took out his computer, his tone strange. "When Yu's matter has been posted online, with over 1 million likes already, and our stock has been falling continuously." As he spoke he clicked to play a video which was the Fu family's surveillance footage, completely recording Wen Yu's death. Tens of thousands of comments have flooded in below. "Intentional homicide. This is absolutely intentional homicide. Is there any justice left? You don't need to take responsibility for scaring someone to death. The rich can really do whatever they want. That little girl was so young." Lily Lu's face was pale. "Brother Ethan, what do we do? I really didn't expect Miss Wen to hate us to this extent." Ethan Fu was also shocked that Olivia Wen would expose the surveillance footage and said in shock, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." In the following days the public opinion intensified, Fu's stock price plummeted, and even the police came several times. Ethan Fu was overwhelmed, his eyes were bloodshot and he was exhausted. "Go check where Olivia Wen went. Bring her back and make her film a video explaining that this was just a joke." Olivia Wen is getting bolder and bolder, daring to do something like this. Going out always leaves itineraries and credit card records. Does she really think he can't find her? Soon the assistant sent a message. "President Fu, there are no travel records or credit card records for Madam. She shouldn't have gone out these past few days." 9 Ethan was stunned, the hand holding the phone instantly bulging with veins. "No work, no travel, disappeared for so long, where could she have gone? Ethan, someone wants to kill me, save me." The sentence lingered in his ears like a curse. Olivia Wen might really be in trouble. She wasn't joking. Ethan Fu's body stiffened and he squeezed out a sentence. "Go to Yunshan and find Madam, go immediately." An hour later news came from the assistant. "President Fu, Madam has fallen off a cliff and her life is uncertain. We only found a necklace left by Madam on the mountain, with the letter F engraved on it." It was the abbreviation of his surname. This necklace was the first gift he gave her, and Olivia Wen had always worn it, never taking it off. With a bang Ethan Fu felt his mind go blank. Without even taking the time to get dressed he drove straight to Yun Mountain. When he saw the necklace his legs went weak and he almost fell to the ground. It felt as if his heart had been ripped out, the pain making it difficult to breathe. This pain was something he had never experienced before. Impossible. How could Olivia Wen possibly be dead? His heart clenched and a fishy sweetness surged in his throat. "She's not dead, just lost, and now she's waiting for me to save her. Don't be afraid, I'm here to take you back." Ethan started searching with the rescue team without eating or drinking, and it went on for days. Lily stayed by his side. "Chardal, Ethan, let's go back, you can't take this, the rescue team is enough. Get out of the way. Olivia is still waiting for me to save her. Lily Lou staggered, looking at his manic state with a complicated expression. Found her. The rescue worker was emotional. Ethan Fu's eyes lit up and he rushed over quickly. The white cloth was lifted, revealing a pile of bones. There are many wild animals in the mountains, leaving only some bones behind, but judging from the remnants of clothing at the scene, it is indeed Miss Wen. My condolences. That outfit was indeed Olivia Wen's. There was no mistaking it. Impossible. Olivia wouldn't die like this, wouldn't abandon me like this. Ethan Fu clenched the necklace tightly, his knees slamming heavily onto the ground. He suddenly remembered that Olivia Wen was actually most afraid of the dark. When he was a teenager, Ethan Fu built a city that never sleeps for her because she was afraid of the dark. But she died alone in the dark mountains. A fishy sweetness surged in his throat, and Ethan Fu spat out a mouthful of blood, passing out. Doctor, what exactly happened to Ethan? Lily Lou looked pale and asked cautiously. It's been 7 days. Fu Ethan had locked himself in the room with Olivia's ashes for 7 days and 7 nights. The company's stock kept falling, but anyone who disturbed him was driven out. Even she was almost beaten for entering without permission. I really don't understand, it's just a woman who died, and Ethan Fu hasn't loved her for a long time. The psychiatrist closed the door and sighed, shaking his head. Mr. Fu's paranoia has relapsed. Paranoia. The doctor nodded. Mr. Fu suffered from severe paranoia as a teenager. Dr. Wen has been by his side all these years and it took a lot of effort to cure him. This time, because of Dr. Wen's matter, President Fu's illness has relapsed. Moreover, this time, President Fu's obsession with Dr. Wen is even stronger than before. Lu Lily opened her eyes wide in disbelief. She never knew that Fu Ethan had this kind of illness. Her eyes lit up. If she could replace Olivia and stay by his side at this time, then her position as Mrs. Fu would be secure. So what if she's Olivia Wen? High education and good looks are useless. The position of Mrs. Fu will be hers, Lu Lily's. After seeing the doctor off, she put on light makeup, changed into a very revealing dress and gently twisted the doorknob. Brother Ethan, the next second her neck was grabbed tightly. Who told you to come in here? Get out. Fu Ethan's eyes were gloomy, the tenderness of the past long gone, replaced only by ruthlessness. Lu Lily sobbed delicately. Ethan, don't be like this, I know you're hurting, just let me stay with you. Get out. I only want Olivia. If you don't want to die, then stay here. He threw the person heavily onto the ground, kicking them impatiently. Lu Lily cried out in pain, but Fu Ethan didn't even look at her, carefully holding the ashes as he returned to the bed, muttering to himself. Olivia, it was my fault, please come back. It hurts so much. I'm in so much pain. Olivia, can you give me a hug? Fu Ethan is a born obsessive. It took Olivia 10 years to briefly heal him, and she had long since become an inseparable part of him. Someone once said that Olivia was the only one who could restrain Ethan Fu when his illness flared up, but now that rope has disappeared, Ethan Fu's obsessive behavior is even more severe than before. He had Olivia Wen's room cleaned spotlessly, pretending she was still there. Every day he would hold the urn and talk to it for a long time, even feeding the ashes. He filled the entire villa with photos of Olivia, and forbade anyone from mentioning that she was dead. Because a servant said Olivia was dead, he directly ordered the bodyguard to beat the person and kick them out. The assistant carefully knocked on the door. Mr. Fu, someone is here to see you. The ashtray smashed against the assistant's forehead, causing blood to flow instantly. Get out. I don't want to see anyone. Tell him to get lost. It's about Miss Wen. Ethan Fu took a hard drag of his cigarette and asked in a hoarse voice, what is it? The photo studio owner tremblingly took out a photo. Miss Wen, Olivia left 2 photos in our store. Would you like these 2 to be destroyed as well? In the photo, a young Olivia leaned against his chest with a bright smile, her eyes full of light. That was 7 years ago when they lived in seclusion on a small island abroad. Fu Ethan, I want to be with you forever. Okay, let's be together for the rest of our lives. Ethan Fu's fingertips holding the photo were slightly white, his eyes full of pain. Miss Wen washed over 700 photos in our shop before, But I don't know why she burned them all on the day she picked them up. Today when I was cleaning up the shop I found these two were missed. Looking at the photo full of happiness, Ethan Fu asked in a hoarse voice, "Burned them all?" "Yes, it's all burned, what a pity." Olivia used to love dragging him to take pictures, always saying these would be memories when they got old. But now she personally burned these memories. So Olivia didn't want him long ago. It turned out that he had hurt her so deeply. Ethan began to smoke and drink all day, leaving the company to others to manage. His good brother couldn't stand it any longer and came to him personally. "The company's stock has been falling again and again, it's already a mess. Brother Fu, didn't you stop loving Miss Wen a long time ago? This time she had an accident, it's not your fault." Cigarette butts littered the ground. Ethan took a hard drag, his beard was scruffy and his expression haggard. "I originally thought I didn't love her anymore, but only now do I realize that I can't live without her." Being together for too long in the past, the overly habitual life made him think he didn't love her anymore, so he went to look for new excitement. My friend looked at me with a complicated expression. "You made Olivia Wen marry a dog. We all thought you were humiliating her for Miss Lu's sake." "Humiliating?" Ethan Fu stiffened. "How could it be humiliating? I was just trying to cure Lily." The photos of her marrying a dog have gone viral in the circle, and everyone in the circle is saying she's also an animal. Moreover, not just in the circle, those photos have been made into remix videos and are very popular on the internet. Olivia Wen is already socially dead. Is this just for treatment? Didn't I say not to spread it around? He snatched the phone, saw the photos that had been sent out, and Ethan Fu was so agitated that he punched the wall. He couldn't imagine how embarrassed Olivia Wen would be when she saw these photos, nor could he imagine what kind of humiliation she had experienced during this time. With a snap, Ethan Fu crushed the glass in his hand. Fresh blood flowed from his fingers, but he seemed oblivious to the pain. "Investigate and find out who sent these photos." Ethan Fu's eyes were bloodshot, and the hand holding the cigarette trembled incessantly. The assistant quickly sent the investigation results to his phone. The photos were sent from a secondary account, but they located the sender as Lu Lily through IP positioning. "President Fu, besides this, we've also investigated some other things. Miss Lu's laughter syndrome is fake. Her medical records were forged." 11 When Ethan Fu broke in, Lily Lu was showing off her new bag to her best friend. "It's not too expensive, only 2 million for one. There are only 30 of them in the world and ordinary people can't get their hands on them at all." The door was kicked open and the laughter stopped abruptly. She quickly hung up the phone. "Brother Ethan, why are you here?" She immediately put on a tearful expression and began to explain. "That person was mocking me and I didn't want people to think I was pathetic, so I forced myself to smile." Seeing that his expression was off, Lu Lily deliberately exposed her fragrant shoulders and leaned in close. "I've prepared something nice in the room, would you like to try it with me?" "Ethan, it's been so long since you came to see me, I've missed you so much." Ethan held Lu Lily's head and slammed it hard against the wall. Blood blurred her vision and she screamed in terror. "Brother Ethan, what's going on? Could it be that her secret has been exposed? How could this be? Olivia Wen is already dead. She was about to succeed. How could she fall short at this moment? Ethan, did someone tell you something? It's not what you think. Let me go, I can explain. Someone is framing me." Ethan Fu didn't say a word, grabbed Lily Lu by the hair, and dragged her directly to the basement. "Has no one ever told you that I, Ethan Fu, hate being lied to the most?" Seeing the walls covered in criminal detention warrants, Lily Lu was terrified. Ethan Fu gripped her neck, his eyes filled with madness. Just as Lily Lu thought she was about to be strangled to death, the man suddenly released his grip. The cold medicine was injected into her body mercilessly, and she trembled with fear. "Since you like to fake illness, then taste what it's like to really not be able to laugh. Olivia tasted the same thing as you before. From now on, I will make you feel pain every time you laugh." Ethan Fu patted her face with the blade of the knife, leaving a bloody mark on her face. Lily retreated in fear, breaking down as she said, "Madman. You're a madman." Ethan Fu suddenly laughed, but as he laughed, tears began to fall. "I was always a madman. Ethan Fu has always been a madman. Only Olivia Wen would spend 10 years trying to cure a madman. But now she's gone and that lunatic is back. His expression was terrifying, like a demon crawling out of hell. Being imprisoned here must be worse than death. Retreating all the way to the wall, Lily Lu staggered to her feet, her head covered in blood. Fu Ethan, I did deceive you, but you did all those things yourself. You were the one who tricked her into marrying a dog, and you were the one who drugged her. She begged you for help and you chose not to save her but instead went to bed with me. Fu Ethan slammed the dagger into the table, enraged. Shut up. Ethan Fu, being with one person for 10 years must be boring. Are you doing this to treat my illness, or are you looking for excitement by leaving her? You must find it exciting that she saw us being intimate. Lily Lu laughed heartily, but the next second her facial muscles spasmed, and she rolled around on the ground in pain. I told you to shut up. Ethan Fu was completely enraged and slapped her hard. Her face swelled up instantly, and Lily Lu spat out the tooth that had been knocked out, continuing to speak madly. Ethan Fu, the truth is I've never liked you. I just wanted to be Mrs. Fu. Her faking illness was just to get close to Ethan Fu through Olivia Wen and take the position of Mrs. Fu to enjoy life. Who knew he would turn out to be a madman? You probably don't know how Olivia Wen died, do you? She was pushed off a cliff by someone. It's just a pity that the body was eaten by wild animals, so you can't see her die with your own eyes. Lily Lu said crazily, Ethan Fu, if you have the guts, kill me to avenge her. You want to die? Well, I won't let you. Ethan Fu suddenly laughed. Did you think I would let you die so easily? Someone take her to prison. Make the arrangements. I want her to wish she were dead, to regret everything she did to Olivia. Prison? She doesn't want to go to prison. What's the difference between going to prison and being tortured here? Lily shook her head constantly, running to the door like crazy, but ran into a group of bodyguards. Send her to prison immediately. I want her to wish she were dead every day. Fu Ethan said coldly. No. I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Lily Lu struggled frantically, her fingernails torn off from the excessive force, but she was still dragged away by the bodyguards. Ethan Fu slowly knelt on the ground, laughing like a madman, but as he laughed, it turned into a wail. Lying on the ground in despair, Ethan Fu curled up his body, constantly calling Olivia Wen's name. But no one answered him. 12 Olivia Wen. On an island abroad, Olivia Wen was opening a crab under a parasol. Beside her, a handsome man was expressionlessly peeling shrimp for her. This man was none other than Mr. Gu's younger brother, Gu Lingchuan. For the past 3 years she had been treating Gu Lingchuan's autism on this island, and all her hard work had finally paid off. She had truly cured him. Lingchuan's condition has improved significantly, and he should take on some of the family business. Would you like to return to Shanghai with us? Mr. Gu spoke, asking for her opinion. Shanghai. Feels like a lifetime ago, almost like something from a past life. That place is a lifelong pain for her. When Olivia never thought she would go back, so she hesitated. Who said I was going back with you? Gu Lingchuan picked up a towel to dry his hands and spoke first, his tone cold and hard. Wherever Olivia is, I am. If she doesn't want to go back, no one can force her. You've learned to go against me now that you're better. Mr. Gu said, but he wasn't angry, only looking at Wen. Olivia. It's been 3 years, Miss Wen, and without a doubt, you are the most outstanding psychologist in the world. Those internationally renowned psychologists couldn't cure Lingchuan, but you did. You can cure someone who has suffered from autism for 20 years, so don't you want to heal the hatred in your own heart? Yes, her parents and sister all died in Shanghai. Did she really want to never go back? No, perhaps she really should go back. With resolve, Olivia Wen agreed. I'll go back to Shanghai with you. I can leave any time. Gu Lingchuan frowned and said in a low voice, you don't have to force yourself. I can stay with you on this small island for the rest of my life. His tone was firm and ardent, as if no one could force her if she said she didn't want to. Olivia Wen understood his feelings, but didn't know how to respond to them and could only smile slightly. I want to go back, no one is forcing me. Gu Lingchuan pursed his lips and nodded. Olivia Wen took out her phone, which had been stored for 3 years. The moment she turned it on, tens of thousands of messages flooded in. All messages came from the same person, the most recent one sent today. Olivia, I dreamed about you last night, I miss you so much. A wave of nausea washed over her, and without even looking she deleted all the messages with one click. I heard the youngest son of the Gu family is coming back. It seems like Shanghai is going to change. In a bar, a few friends surrounded Ethan Fu, discussing matters related to the Gu family. The Gu family of Shanghai is a shadow looming over all the wealthy families. When the person in power stamps their foot, the entire city of Shanghai trembles. The Gu family is holding a grand banquet in a few days. Brother Fu, are you planning to go? Ethan Fu absent-mindedly swirled the wine in his glass, not saying a word, clearly uninterested in the matter. Several friends exchanged glances and sighed. Everyone in the circle knew that Fu Ethan was crazy. In the past 3 years he had gone completely mad, not only holding the ashes every day, but also talking to the urn of ashes from time to time, and his methods became increasingly ruthless. Someone once tried to please him with a woman who looked similar to Win Olivia, but unexpectedly angered him and directly bankrupted that company. From then on, the entire Shanghai knew that the name Olivia Win was his taboo. But it's a miracle that someone with autism for so many years could recover. It is said that the eldest young master of the Gu family found a psychologist and spent 3 years curing her. There is actually such an amazing psychologist in this world. Ethan Fu suddenly asked, "What psychologist?" Everyone looked at each other, shaking their heads. Frowning impatiently, Ethan Fu stood up and left, carrying the urn in his arms. 13 On the day of the banquet, all the families in Shanghai came to congratulate. The Gu family's youngest son, who had autism for 20 years, has actually recovered. He will definitely take over the company's assets upon his return this time. If one could please this crown prince or marry their daughter to him, it would be a case of one person attaining enlightenment and their entire family ascending to heaven. Everyone is discussing matters related to this person, anticipating his appearance. Fu Ethan stood expressionlessly to the side, his eyes fixed on the banquet hall entrance. He had only ever met one such amazing psychologist, Olivia Wen, so he was intensely curious about the psychologist working for the Gu family's heir. The lights suddenly dimmed and music slowly began to play in the banquet hall. Everyone looked towards the banquet hall doors, eager to see what the young master, hidden away for 20 years, looked like. Behind the door, Olivia Wen, dressed in a haute couture gown worth millions, linked her arm with Gu Lingquan's and chuckled softly. "Is it going to be too much if I enter with you at your main event?" Gu Lingquan said gently, "With me you are the main event." His gaze was so affectionate the emotions were almost overflowing. After a decade-long relationship ending in betrayal, Olivia Wen is now afraid to easily start a new relationship, and for a moment she doesn't know how to respond. Gu Lingquan seemed to see something and reached out to rub her hair. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Hearing these words, Olivia Wen suddenly felt at ease. The banquet hall doors slowly opened, and the two exchanged a smile hand in hand as they approached the banquet. They looked so well-matched that everyone gasped in amazement. But Fu Ethan froze on the spot, unable to believe his eyes. It was Wen Olivia. It was actually Olivia Wen. She's not dead. In an instant, a huge surge of joy flooded my heart. I crushed the wine glass in my hand, not caring about my palm being cut by the glass. He rushed forward. "Olivia. You're not dead, that's great, why didn't you come find me, I've been waiting for you." He was about to step forward and hug her when Gu Lingquan blocked him. "Mr. Fu, what do you think you're doing to my girlfriend?" "Girlfriend?" These 3 words were like a bucket of cold water, instantly sobering Fu Ethan. Seeing their hands clasped together for a moment, he felt as if his heart was being twisted by a knife. How could this be? She clearly loved him. They had been in love for 10 years, how could she become someone else's girlfriend? With bloodshot eyes, Ethan Fu roared. "When Olivia is my wife, we have been in love for 10 years and we are a legally married couple. Are you saying I should marry a dog, or that my fake marriage certificate is also with a dog?" When Olivia's voice was faint, her tone full of sarcasm. The surroundings erupted in an uproar. No one expected there to be a fake marriage certificate involved. "Fu always acts so affectionate, I didn't expect him to have done something like this. If it were Miss Wen, she would never forgive him in this lifetime." Now Miss Wen's boyfriend is the crown prince of the Gu family who still cares about Fu. She actually knew about the marriage certificate a long time ago. "Olivia, it's my fault, I just wanted to play a joke on you. Please forgive me, aren't you the one who loves me the most?" Fu Ethan begged for forgiveness in the humblest tone of his life, his eyes full of madness as he looked at her. Once upon a time she was moved by such eyes. But now she only felt disgusted, so disgusted. President Fu, I seem to remember you having a girlfriend. Isn't it a bit shameless to keep pestering me? I only have you. No one else. Lu Lily has already been sent to prison. Believe me, I was deceived by her before too. When Olivia dodged his touch, Lingchuan, it's getting late. Let the banquet begin. Gu Lingchuan nodded, and the next second a group of men in black appeared, forcibly holding down Fu Ethan and dragging him away. 14 After the banquet, Gu Lingchuan took off his suit and put it on Olivia Wen. Thank you. Didn't I tell you a long time ago, you don't have to be so polite with me? Olivia Wen explained, it's not just because of this, but also thank you for helping me out today. Besides, everyone thinks you're my girlfriend now. Is that hindering you from finding a girlfriend? Maybe after a while I should explain it. Gu Lingchuan slowly squatted down, looking at her earnestly, and said, Olivia, I'm not just helping you out of a tight spot. Every word I said is from the bottom of my heart. He had lived in autism for over 20 years, and the first thing he saw when he stepped out of his own world was her. Gradually, this woman also walked into his heart. She was kind, intelligent, and responsible. In the 3 years on the island, he had already fallen hopelessly in love with her. When Olivia blinked and tilted her head. There was someone like you who fell in love with me while I was treating him, but I'm not like him. Gu Lingchuan interrupted her. I love you because you are good in yourself, not because you are good to me. Olivia Wen was stunned, her breathing becoming lighter. I like you, Olivia, thank you for bringing me out of that world with only myself, but for the days to come I want to be with you. Straightforward and bold. Olivia suddenly felt a little flustered. She lowered her head and thought for a long time before finally speaking. After what happened 3 years ago, I've become very resistant to relationships, and I'm not ready to start a new one. Lingchuan, if I can't reciprocate your feelings, I'll keep waiting. Gu Lingchuan didn't hesitate at all. But during this time, let me play your boyfriend. If you really don't give me a response in the future, then I will cherish these days we have. He and Fu Ethan are really different. Fu Ethan is stubborn and arrogant. When they were together, she was always the one accommodating him. Taking a deep breath, when Olivia opened her arms and gently hugged Gu Lingchuan. It was their first embrace, yet they fit together unexpectedly well. Faintly, she could hear the sound of her own heart beating. When Olivia returned to the hospital where she used to work, everyone was shocked to see her alive. Olivia, you're really alive. Do you know Mr. Fu almost went crazy thinking you were dead? It was also at this time that when Olivia learned what Fu Ethan had done over the past few years. He had people keep her office and he would take the time to sleep there for a day each week. Not only that, but every year on her birthday, Fu Ethan would set off fireworks across the city to celebrate her birthday, and everyone knew how much he loved this woman named Wen Olivia. Last year he bought the largest pink diamond in the world and named it after her. For a time, everyone said how much Ethan Fu loved Olivia Wen, and everyone thought Ethan Fu was a man of deep affection. If someone could treat me like that, I'd die happy. Colleagues sighed. However, listening to all of this, Olivia Wen only felt that Ethan Fu was hypocritical to the point of nausea. She took out the family photo she had left in the drawer, turned around and left the hospital. After a sleepless night, Ethan Fu stood at the door, his eyes bloodshot. Olivia, I really know I was wrong, you're the only one I love, please forgive me this time. As he said this, the usually proud President Fu actually knelt down to her in public. Olivia Wen suddenly laughed and raised her hand to slap him hard across the face. This slap is for Xiaoyu. She always treated you like her own brother, but because of you she ended up with no remains left. After speaking, another slap. This slap is for myself for 10 years of youth and deep love, all played by you. As soon as she finished speaking, a third slap followed. This time it's for our relationship. Ethan Fu, I regret loving someone like you for so long. Ethan Fu didn't dodge once and even took her hand. Do you feel better? If not, you can keep hitting me, I won't fight back. When you've calmed down, I'll have someone prepare our wedding. Would you like to have it here or abroad? We can do both. Olivia felt a little tired, she said quietly. Ethan, I don't love you anymore and I won't marry you. I don't love you anymore. These 5 words were like 5 knives, each one stabbing him and drawing blood. How could it hurt so much? He could accept everything, but the one thing he couldn't accept was Olivia not loving him. He raised his head in a disheveled manner, his expression dark and gloomy. I know you're still angry, but Olivia, don't joke about something like this. I'm not joking. From the day you killed Xiaoyu, all I feel when I see you is disgust. Ignoring his disarray, Olivia Wen turned and left. The next second she felt a darkness before her eyes and lost consciousness. 15 I woke up again in the Fu family's villa. She was lying on her old bed, her hands and feet bound with iron chains. Olivia, you're awake. Fu Ethan's voice came from above, and she realized that she was actually lying in Fu Ethan's arms. Have you been sleeping for so long? Are you a little hungry? The man placed a kiss on her forehead, then got up and put on an apron. Do you want pasta or fried rice? My skills aren't great, but I can manage to fill your stomach. His tone was calm, but his face was etched with a captivating obsession. I won't eat the food you make. Then I'll have the servants make it for you and bring it here. Olivia Wen took a deep breath and said calmly, Let me leave Ethan Fu, we haven't had any relationship for a long time. Who said we don't have a relationship? He suddenly rushed over and pinned her down, kissing her passionately to prove how intimate they were. Feeling the man's tongue swirling in her mouth, Olivia almost threw up. She bit the man's lip hard and soon her mouth was filled with the taste of blood. Fu Ethan didn't seem to feel any pain, and he kissed her for a long time until she had difficulty breathing before letting go. Wiping the blood from his mouth, he laughed maniacally. Olivia, our contact may have been severed for 3 years, but from now on, you will be with me forever in life and in death. These handcuffs and shackles are made of steel. The people in the villa have long been sent away by me. There are only 2 of us here. From now on, no one will ever be able to take you away from me. Seeing his crazed eyes, Olivia Wen suddenly began to feel afraid. She was all too familiar with this version of Ethan Fu. The obsessive maniac was back. But perhaps even worse than before, he was crazy enough to imprison her. The meal was quickly prepared and Ethan Fu personally fed her. Olivia Wen avoided the meal he offered. I won't eat your food. Either let me go or watch me die here. She added mockingly, President Fu once forced me to take psychiatric drugs. Are you now going to force-feed me? In an instant Ethan Fu's eyes turned dull. He embraced her in frustration, saying madly, Then let's die together. He's a madman, only Olivia Wen can bring him back to normal. But now even she doesn't want him anymore. In the evening Ethan Fu wanted to be intimate with her. This time Olivia Wen didn't resist but just looked at him with disgust. You disgust me. These words made Ethan freeze. He was silent for a long time and finally let her go, simply holding her as he fell asleep. It had been 3 years and this was the most peaceful he had slept. The next day he woke up in a panic, searching for Olivia. Only when he saw her in his arms did he breathe a sigh of relief, then got up to cook breakfast. However, when he carefully prepared breakfast, Olivia Wen still refused to eat it. Let me go, Ethan Fu, there's nothing between us anymore. She hated him, but she wouldn't let herself live in hatred forever. Hearing her say there was nothing between them, Ethan Fu flew into a rage and in front of her, threw all the food into the trash can. I said even if we die we will die together. Olivia Wen smiled bitterly, she now regretted meeting Ethan Fu more than ever. For several days in a row, Ethan Fu meticulously prepared the food for every meal, but each time the food ended up in the trash can. Because she hadn't eaten for too long, Olivia Wen was so weak that she couldn't stand up and could only curl up in bed. What will it take for you to eat properly? Let me go. I have a boyfriend now, let's not torture each other anymore. Ethan's eyes instantly turned red. I know you're still angry, how about I let you vent your anger? The next second he smashed the bowl on the ground, then stepped expressionlessly over the shards of glass, not stopping even when his feet were covered in blood. Are you appeased now? Olivia Wen turned her head. Even if you die, I will never forgive you. Ethan Fu knelt down, slapping himself frantically until his mouth was full of blood. Are you feeling better now? Madman, you are truly a madman. Olivia Wen knew that his paranoia was worse than before. But this time she didn't want to save him anymore. Ethan chuckled, picked up a fruit knife and fiercely sliced off a piece of his own flesh. Now then, are you appeased? Blood flowed all over the ground, Olivia sneered. If you have the ability, torture yourself to death. I, in this life, the next life, for all eternity, will never forgive you. As the words fell, another piece of flesh was sliced off. Crazy, truly crazy. She closed her eyes, no longer looking at him. Ethan Fu stubbornly cut off 3 pieces of his own flesh, but still didn't receive a word of forgiveness from her. 16 Just as he was about to cut off his 4th piece of flesh, the villa door was suddenly broken open. A group of bodyguards rushed in and pinned him to the ground. Who are you? How did you get in here? A bodyguard kicked him, warning, behave yourself. Ethan Fu struggled madly, looking at Gu Lingchuan walking in with disbelief. Impossible. He had built the villa to be impregnable, how could they have gotten in? Gu Lingchuan didn't even look at him, stepping forward to scoop up Olivia Wen into his arms. Olivia, I'm here to save you. Sorry I'm late, this place is too secure. It took me so long just to break down the front door. Looking at the weak Olivia, he deeply regretted why he couldn't have been faster. Olivia, who had been holding on with all her might, suddenly relaxed when she saw him. Before she could say anything, her head tilted and she fainted in his arms. I woke up again in the hospital. As she moved, she startled Gu Lingchuan, who was dozing off by the bed. Olivia, you're finally awake. Do you feel any discomfort anywhere? The man was unshaven, his eyes bloodshot. It was clear he hadn't rested in order to take care of her. Her heart stirred as if a warm current was slowly flowing from the tip of her heart. Since her parents passed away, no one has ever waited by her window again. When she was with Fu Ethan before, he would only say he was busy when she was sick, and then ask the servants to take care of her. Actually, whether someone cares is obvious, she was just blinded before. If it weren't for him, she doesn't know how much longer she would have tormented each other with Fu Ethan. Shaking her head when Olivia whispered, "No, I'm much better. Lingchuan, thank you so much this time." Gu Lingchuan breathed a sigh of relief and suddenly hugged her tightly, speaking with lingering fear. You scared me to death. Luckily I rescued you. Do you know how worried I was? Almost I would never have seen you again. His voice choked and tears kept falling. This was the first time in so long that he was so afraid of losing someone. She didn't expect him to cry for her. Olivia Wen was stunned, letting him hold her for a long time. Olivia, I know this is a bit sudden, but I'm really scared. Gu Lingchuan released her, his gentle gaze falling on her face. Are you willing to try to accept me now? Even if you don't like me, can you try to accept me? If I'm lucky, maybe one day in the future you will truly fall in love with me. When Olivia thought of the moment he rescued her, leaning in his arms, she could feel her heart beating fast. How could she not be moved, facing the confession of a handsome man every day, but it would be unfair to him before she completely fell in love with him. What if I can never completely fall in love with you? That's not fair to you. There's never really any fairness in matters of the heart, baby. Are you already starting to like me? Suddenly being called baby made Olivia Wen blush instantly. She nodded and whispered, Lingchuan, let's give it a try. This incident made her understand a principle. People can't be trapped in the past forever. Why can't she accept a good relationship and nurture it well? Gu Lingchuan was thrilled but afraid of scaring her, so he asked cautiously. So, are you my girlfriend now? Yes. My boyfriend. Then can I kiss you now? When Olivia chuckled and nodded. The next second, Gu Lingchuan leaned down and gently touched her lips. Even when kissing, Gu Lingchuan was still very gentle, treating her as if she were a treasure. When Olivia didn't expect to feel no resistance at all. She closed her eyes, realizing that deep down she liked him. Fu Ethan stood outside the hospital room door, his heart twisting as he watched this scene. So, it was true when she said she didn't love him anymore. She didn't love him anymore, she had a new lover. Why did it have to be this way? Back then she loved him so much, promising to be together for a lifetime. But now why does she say she doesn't love him anymore? As if all strength had been drained from his body, Ethan Fu abruptly tore off the bandage on his arm. Fresh blood immediately gushed out like a faucet, but he laughed. From morning till night Ethan Fu smoked an entire pack of cigarettes. Surrounded by blood and cigarette butts, he stubbed out the last cigarette, got up and went to find Olivia Wen. 17 Olivia Wen saw someone standing by the bed as she was half asleep. Just as she was about to scream, the man suddenly covered her mouth. Olivia, it's me. The hospital room light was turned on, and Ethan Fu stood wearily to the side. Don't make a sound, I want to talk to you. Olivia Wen breathed a sigh of relief when she realized he wasn't a bad person and looked at him coldly. What do you want to do again? Do you want to imprison me again? Ethan Fu narrowed his eyes, subconsciously wanting to take a cigarette, but he suddenly remembered she didn't like it, so he put it down again. Olivia Wen smiled sarcastically, looking at him with disgust. Everything he does now seems like acting. Olivia, I dreamed about our past last night. He looked at her with burning eyes. Do you remember that time I had an episode and locked you in the small dark room, not letting you leave me? You stayed with me for 3 days and 3 nights. Not only were you not angry with me, but you kept comforting me. Do you also remember that year we were on the snow mountain and encountered an avalanche? We thought we were going to die, but our first thought was that it was good we could die together. When we were most in love, you even had my name tattooed over her heart. He spoke of things past, but Olivia felt not a ripple in her heart. The moment she decided to leave, none of those things mattered anymore. I've already forgotten everything you're talking about. Forgot. 10 years they had been through so much. But now she says she has forgotten. Ethan Fu's breath hitched, feeling as if his heart was being repeatedly fried in a pan. He suddenly knelt down and kowtowed frantically to her, until his head was covered in blood. I'm sorry, forgive me, don't leave me, I will die. Then go die. When Olivia Wen said these words, she only felt that her hatred was relieved. She really wished he were dead. A look of despair appeared in Ethan Fu's eyes. Only now did he finally understand completely that she hated him, wished he were dead. Without her, the rest of his life would be meaningless. He only regrets now why he was deceived by Lu Lily, and why he was so obsessed with doing such a thing. With a look of madness in his eyes, Fu Ethan laughed maniacally. He touched Olivia's face and said gently, Then Olivia, why don't you kill me with your own hands? We must be together in life and death, forever and ever. But I can't bear to see you die, so if you kill me with your own hands, can that appease your anger? As a psychiatrist, when Olivia could tell at a glance that he was truly insane. Stepping back 2 steps in horror. What do you want? Fu Ethan held her hand, stuffed a dagger into it and suddenly stabbed it into his own abdomen. Eewa! Olivia Wen screamed, You're crazy, you're really crazy. I've been crazy for a long time. Ethan Fu's eyes were bloodshot. From the moment you fell in love with someone else, I was already crazy. Just as he was about to stab a second time, the hospital room door was suddenly opened. Gu Lingchuan stepped forward and punched Ethan Fu in the face. You're a maniac. Just because you don't want to live, do you have to drag Olivia down with you? He grabbed Ethan Fu by the collar and slammed him to the ground, beating him. Each punch was heavier than the last and soon there was blood. Stop fighting, someone will die if you keep this up. Olivia Wen stopped him. Hearing her voice, Gu Lingchuan finally calmed down and stopped. The hospital doctors and nurses rushed in and quickly lifted Ethan Fu onto a stretcher. Olivia Wen didn't give him any look, only held Gu Lingchuan's hand, feeling extremely distressed. There was no need to be so rough, your joints are all red. It's okay as long as you're all right. There are too many irrelevant people here. I'll take you back to the Gu family to recuperate. Holding the person in his arms, he planted a kiss without explanation. Before losing consciousness, Fu Ethan watched them kissing passionately, spitting out a mouthful of blood and passing out. 18 Olivia Wen moved into the Gu family and was welcomed by everyone. Mr. and Mrs. Gu were very open-minded. After learning about her past experiences, their eyes were filled with heartache. They didn't expect such an outstanding child to have suffered so much. Mrs. Gu said, You can live in our house from now on for as long as you want. It would be wonderful if you could stay for a lifetime. Don't think she can't tell, her own stinky boy has long been deeply in love with her. Unexpectedly, the Gu family is so kind to her. Olivia Wen is a little embarrassed. To repay them, she accompanies Mother Gu to arrange flowers and feed the fish every day, and sometimes they discuss psychology together. Because of Gu Lingchuan, Mother Gu is very interested in this area, and the two have gradually become close friends despite their age difference. The days were unprecedentedly peaceful, and these were the happiest days Olivia Wen had had in recent years. This day Gu Lingchuan returned early, carrying a delicate little cake in his hand. Olivia, happy birthday. Only then did Olivia Wen remember that today was actually her birthday. Since her parents passed away, no one had celebrated her birthday anymore, and she hadn't remembered when her birthday was for years. How did you know it was my birthday today? If you put your heart into it, you can know anything. Baby, are you happy today? Olivia Wen nodded emphatically, she was so happy. He was right, with enough effort, anything can be known, but in those 10 years Ethan Fu never once proactively celebrated her birthday. In truth, that love was always very cheap. It's laughable that she was trapped for so long. She looked up and kissed Gu Lingchuan for the first time. The two embraced for a long time before finally letting go. I'll cut the cake for you, make a wish. A wish. Her biggest wish used to be for Xiaoyu's heart disease to get better. After Xiaoyu died, she had no other wishes. But perhaps a wish is the beginning of a new life. She put her hands together, about to make a wish, when an excited voice suddenly came from outside. Where's Olivia? I want to see her. Tell her to come out and see me. Olivia, come out, I have something important to talk to you about. Gu Lingchuan looked displeased and was about to have the bodyguard take the person away, but when Olivia stopped him. She knew the person who came. It was Fu Ethan's good buddy and they used to have a good relationship. Sister-in-law, go and see brother Fu. He's been drinking heavily every day, neglecting the company. He's practically ruined. Olivia Wen said coldly, we have nothing to do with each other anymore. You should call me Miss Wen. Besides, whatever he's like now has nothing to do with me. You should go find a therapist if there's a problem. The friend said awkwardly, but no one can cure him except you. He won't give up if you don't go see him. Then please give him a message. Just say that I'm getting married. Everyone was stunned, thinking they had misheard. When Olivia suddenly took Guru's hand, I already have a new lover and I'm getting married soon. I hope you won't bother me anymore. The friend looked embarrassed and also guessed that his good buddy was ruined for life, so he fled in panic. Olivia, is what you just said true? Gu Lingchuan asked, then quickly explained, I know you were trying to make that person give up, but I was really happy just now. Don't worry, I won't force you to marry me. As long as you're willing to be with me, it doesn't matter if we never get married. Seeing his flustered explanation, when Olivia chuckled. How do you know I was joking? 19 Gu Lingchuan was stunned, a huge surprise welling up in his eyes. Gu Lingchuan, let's get engaged. I think I've completely fallen in love with you. Perhaps the 3 years spent together day and night on the island had already fostered feelings for each other, but they just needed a catalyst. Gu Lingchuan opened his eyes wide in disbelief, picking her up and spinning her around. He was simply too happy. From the very first day they were together, he had prepared himself for the possibility that she would never like him. And now she had actually said with her own mouth that she had completely fallen in love with him. Putting her down, Gu Lingchuan took out a delicate ring box from his pocket. The box opened to reveal a diamond ring, large and intimidating. When Olivia gasped in surprise, how could you carry something like this on you? From the first day we returned to Shanghai, I was ready to propose to you at any moment. I just didn't expect this day to come so soon. This was the diamond ring he had seen long ago, of which there was only one in the world, signifying that he would only have one Olivia in his life. Hearing the commotion, Gu's father, Gu's mother and the eldest brother, Gu Yuan, all came out to witness this important moment for them. The man slowly knelt down, looking at Olivia with a devout expression. Olivia, you may not know this, but the first time I saw you was at the Fu family's banquet. From the first moment I saw you, I was deeply attracted to you, but you already had someone else by your side. It's a miracle that a boy with autism would fall in love with a stranger at first sight. Actually, I find it incredible myself. Later, you were invited by Big Brother to become a psychologist, and that became the happiest thing for me. In these 3 years I saw you reading and studying diligently, I saw you go swimming in the sea when you were happy, and I also saw you crying alone under the stars when you were sad. I want to say I actually liked you a long time ago, even before you knew me. Olivia Wen covered her mouth and wept. She didn't expect that in an unknown corner, someone had liked her for so long. Olivia, will you marry me? I will love you infinitely in my limited life and will not let you be wronged. The people around started to egg them on. Marry him. Marry him. Gu Yuan smiled and said, Sister-in-law, please agree to his proposal for the sake of him liking you for so many years. I do. Olivia Wen choked out, not expecting Gu Lingchuan to propose to her so formally in front of all their relatives. The diamond ring was slowly placed on her finger, and she stared at it blankly for a long time, suddenly feeling a sense of peace. Her life is about to enter a new stage, and she will leave all those who have hurt her behind. The entire Gu family was saddened by the engagement, and after discussion the engagement ceremony was set for a week later. Olivia Wen was a little nervous as the last memory was not pleasant. Gu Lingchuan ruffled her hair and comforted her. Don't be nervous, I will take care of everything. He always keeps his word. During this time, Olivia Wen didn't have to worry about anything, just choose the clothes and jewelry she liked. On the day of the engagement, all the major families in Shanghai came. Everyone didn't expect that the second young master of the Gu family would get engaged so quickly, and even more so that he would marry Olivia Wen, who has no family background. It is said that the wheel of fortune turns, and no one imagined that the biggest joke of the circle had climbed the high branch of the Gu family. However, Gu Lingchuan's words at the engagement ceremony stunned everyone. "Thank you, Olivia, for loving me. Being able to marry you is an honor I, Gu Lingchuan, don't deserve." Those who don't know Olivia Wen won't understand how wonderful she is. Everyone's expression changed, but Gu's parents showed no dissatisfaction, and even happily watched the two drink the nuptial cup. Everyone present was astute and immediately understood that this wasn't Olivia Wen trying to marry up, but rather the Gu family eagerly bringing her into their home. Being the kind of people who judge others and act accordingly, everyone immediately began to compliment Olivia Wen. At the Fu family villa, a drunken Ethan Fu saw the news of the Gu family heir's engagement on his phone and instantly sobered up. 20 in the news when Olivia and Gu Lingchuan were holding hands tightly, the affection in their eyes almost overflowing. Engaged. She actually married someone else. Why didn't he know? Why is he only finding out about this now? We were afraid you'd be upset, so we kept this from you. His brother patted him on the shoulder. Give up, it's no use crying over spilled milk, and we can't afford to offend the heir of the Gu family. But Ethan Fu couldn't hear anything at all. He only had one thought in his head. No way. He would never allow Olivia Wen to marry someone else. Thinking of this, he rushed out like a madman. The sports car sped along. Ethan Fu ran countless red lights all the way, rushing towards the Gu family as if his life depended on it. However, when he arrived, the engagement ceremony was already over. When Olivia and Gu Lingchuan were seeing guests off at the front door, standing side by side, smiling at each other, their eyes full of love when they looked at each other. This scene stung Fu Ethan's eyes, and he felt a pain in his heart that made it hard to breathe. The alcohol hadn't worn off and he staggered towards Olivia, but unexpectedly a car came and knocked him flying. A loud screech of brakes sounded, and the surrounding people formed a circle, blocking Olivia's view. What happened? Looks like there was a car accident. Don't worry, someone will handle it. Mr. and Mrs. Gu came over. We'll take care of things here. Don't see blood on your big day. Hurry inside and enjoy your time together. Olivia Wen was a little embarrassed and smiled as she hid in Gu Lingchuan's arms. In the distance, the immense pain blurred Ethan Fu's vision. He wanted to call out to her, but his voice was hoarse and he couldn't utter a word. He could only watch helplessly as the two of them walked away hand in hand. Don't marry him. He spat out a mouthful of blood, staring intently in the direction they left. Olivia, don't marry him, let me take you away. Let me take you away, okay? Let me take you to buy your favorite wedding dress. Didn't you say you wanted to wear it for me? In a blur, he seemed to see 10 years ago when Olivia Wen excitedly pulled him into a bridal shop, pointing to a pristine wedding dress and smiling brightly. When we get married, I want to wear a wedding dress that's 100 times more beautiful than this one. He had countless opportunities to marry her, but each time he personally gave them up. Meanwhile, in the Shanghai women's prison, Lily Lu was disheveled and eating on the ground like a dog. The head honcho here was amused by her appearance and burst into laughter. After laughing, she raised her hand and slapped her across the face a few more times. Who allowed you to eat so fast? Do you want another beating? I was wrong, don't hit me, please don't hit me anymore. Lily Lu cowered in the corner, crying and saying she wouldn't dare to do it again. However, no one listened to her. They cornered her and each gave her a kick followed by several slaps before leaving. Lily Lu wailed from the beating, curled up on the ground for a long time before finally getting back on her feet. For the past 3 years she had been beaten every day, her body no longer had a single patch of good skin, and she could only linger here, barely surviving. In these days there wasn't a single day she didn't hate. Hate Olivia Wen, hate Ethan Fu, wishing she could skin them alive. But as soon as she thought that Olivia Wen was already dead, she felt a burst of joy in her heart. Lily Lu ate the leftover rice that had been stepped on, casually grabbed the newspaper next to her to wipe her mouth, and her eyes widened as she caught sight of the words on it. Gu's crown prince engaged today. Fiancé is well-known psychologist Olivia Wen. Seeing Olivia Wen's name, her first reaction was that it was someone with the same name, until she saw the photo above. She would recognize Olivia Wen's face even if it was turned to ashes. But wasn't she already dead? It must be fake. How could someone fall off a cliff and come back alive? That's impossible. Lily Lou screamed like a madwoman, staring intently at the newspaper as if she wanted to bore a hole through it. It really was Olivia Wen, she couldn't mistake her. She was still alive, and not just alive but even living better than before. Why is her life so good? Even without Fu Ethan, there's the even wealthier Gu family to marry into, and she can even marry the Gu family's crown prince. Why can she be out there having fun and living freely, while she has to be abused here, living a life worse than death? For the past 3 years she's wanted to end her life every day, but she doesn't have the courage. She's clearly not worse than when Olivia, she just has a bit of bad luck. Suddenly tearing the newspaper to shreds, Lily Lou laughed maniacally. Olivia Wen, since I can't live, I won't let you have an easy time either. 21 Because of the car accident, Ethan Fu didn't die, but he lost a leg. The Fu family's business was already in decline, and all of its former partners had withdrawn their investments. In just a few days, the once massive Fu Corporation became a pariah. Overnight, Ethan Fu was burdened with huge debts and was kicked out of his villa. Some people tried to find him, but he seemed to have vanished into thin air and could not be found. Olivia Wen was with Madame Gu, looking at the new season's haute couture when she heard the news. When she learned that the person in the car accident that day was actually Ethan Fu, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes, but after the surprise there was no emotion. Whether it was Ethan Fu or Ethan Lee, they had nothing to do with her. Mother Gu felt a little pity. It's such a shame that the Fu family's good business was ruined like that. Olivia Wen comforted her. There's nothing to regret, whether it's a family or an individual, everyone has their own destiny, and some people are simply not worthy of their position. Hearing this, Mother Gu nodded in approval. Look at me, you a junior see things more clearly than I do. Alright, let's not talk about this. I heard you like children very much, so when are you planning to marry Ling Chuan? I'm hoping you two will get married soon and give me a grandson or granddaughter. Olivia Wen's face immediately turned red and she said embarrassedly, if there are no accidents, we will get married at the end of this year. As for children, it still depends on fate. Mother Gu was very happy and immediately pulled her to start choosing a suitable dress. She had long been regarded as her daughter-in-law, and Gu's mother even directly took out several black cards and stuffed them to her. I can't accept this. Take it, we're all family sooner or later. Unable to refuse, Olivia Wen had no choice but to accept. In the garden, the transformed Ethan Fu painfully shed tears as he overheard Olivia Wen discussing marriage. He was now burdened with enormous debts and could have fled abroad, but he chose to stay and become a servant for the Gu family. For no other reason than that here he could see her every day. Yet here he witnessed Olivia Wen and Ling Chuan Gu's intimacy every day. He saw a familiar look in Olivia's eyes. That kind of look only appeared when she was truly in love with someone. There was nothing in the world more painful than seeing the person you loved fall in love with someone else. He regretted it now, wishing he could go back in time and beat the hell out of the him who hurt Olivia. If those things hadn't happened, the person with her now would only be him. Olivia Wen walked into the garden, feeling a burning gaze fixed on her. She turned back but found no one behind her. Perhaps she was overthinking it. Olivia Wen shook her head and turned to meet Ling Chuan Gu. Ling Chuan, you're back. She threw herself into Ling Chuan Gu's arms like a homing bird, her eyes full of joy. The next second, a large bouquet of flowers was thrust into her hands. The blue roses sparkled brilliantly in the sunlight, a breathtaking sight. Baby, did you love me a little more today? When Olivia smiled, her eyes crinkling, yes, a little more than yesterday. She could feel herself falling in love with him little by little, much faster than she had imagined. Gu Lingchuan picked her up in his arms, kissed her forehead and said softly, then when you're 100% in love with me we'll get married. How have you become so greedy? Didn't you used to say it didn't matter even if I didn't like you? Sure enough, men are all big trotters, always taking an inch when given a foot. The two rubbed noses affectionately and laughed. Olivia, people are greedy. When you didn't love me, I hoped you would love me. When you loved me, I wanted you to love me even more. Now I'm even greedier, hoping you'll love me 100%. I know you will because that's the confidence you give me. Olivia's eyes were a little wet. It wasn't that she gave him confidence, it was he who gave her immense confidence, allowing her to open her heart again and have the ability to love again. Olivia wrapped her arms around the man's neck, tilted her head and gave him a kiss. As she tried to leave, Gu Lingchuan held her and deepened the kiss. They kissed passionately until they were breathless, finally breaking apart, panting for air. Olivia was a little embarrassed and playfully punched his chest, shyly saying, "What are you doing? We're still outside. Don't worry, the servants have all gone to rest, no one will see." However, she didn't know that in the corner behind them Ethan Fu, dragging his heavy right leg, was watching their intimacy intently. Pain. It was so painful. But if he couldn't see her, it would be even more painful, even more maddening. Every day now he lives as if drinking poison to quench his thirst. Perhaps one day he will not be able to bear it and die here, but he just wants to take one more look at Olivia Wen in his limited life. 22 time flies and Olivia Wen returns to work at the hospital again. Because of her excellent professional skills, she quickly becomes a well-known psychologist in the field. It happened to be Gu Lingchuan's birthday that day, and when Olivia had originally planned to leave work early, but a new patient suddenly arrived. After hesitating for a moment, she chose to see this last patient before going home. She sent an apologetic text message to Gu Lingchuan and sighed. She knew that Lingchuan would understand her, but she still felt a little guilty. The office door opened and Lily Lu, bundled up tightly, sat down in the patient's chair. Finding this person a bit strange, Olivia Wen asked, "Where do you feel unwell?" "Dr. Wen, do you remember me?" The hoarse voice sounded like a duck, and Olivia Wen didn't recognize who the person in front of her was, asking in confusion, "Do I know you?" "I'd recognize you even if you were ashes." "When Olivia, you're actually not dead." Lily suddenly tore off the mask on her face, pulled out a knife hidden on her body, and held it against Olivia's neck. "How are you not dead? You're actually not dead. Why? Why must I live a life worse than death, while you can still live your good life?" Her face was aged beyond recognition, her whole body was disheveled, and she trembled like a madwoman when she spoke. "It's you." Olivia Wen recognized her and immediately quietly dialed Gu Lingchuan's phone for help. "It's me. Are you disappointed to see that I didn't die?" "There's nothing to regret." Olivia Wen's tone was indifferent. "I've never understood why you hate me so much. Is it just because of Ethan Fu?" "Of course not. Olivia Wen, do you even know how annoying you are? In high school you were the school beauty that everyone loved, always surrounded like a star. Me? No one liked me, I didn't even have a single friend." Hearing this reason, when Olivia only felt absurd. "But I don't know you." However, these words seemed to enrage Lily. With a forceful movement, the blade instantly left a cut on her fair neck. "Of course you don't know me. After graduating from high school I got plastic surgery and became even more beautiful than you. But why can you win men's hearts and become a rich wife, but I can't, even though I'm no worse than you in any way?" She wasn't wrong. If she hadn't been so determined to get close to Fu Ethan, she could have easily hooked a rich second generation with her post-surgery looks and lived the life of a wealthy wife. But unfortunately she chose a madman like Fu Ethan. Olivia Wen was silent for a moment. The love of someone like Fu Ethan was not something ordinary people could afford. "If you want money, let me go, I can get you money and I won't call the police." Lily laughed out loud, but her laughter turned into tears. Her life was already ruined, what was the use of money? She might as well drag him down to hell with her. "Come with me, don't struggle or I'll kill you." When Olivia nodded and obediently followed her out of the hospital, arriving at the mountains outside the city. She just didn't expect that she would bring her to the place where she fell off the cliff back then. Thinking about it, it was really a stroke of luck, she almost died here. Standing where she almost died, when Olivia was not afraid, because she knew that Gu Lingchuan would come to save her soon. Sure enough, the sound of sirens soon came from the mountain. Gu Lingchuan ran over and his pupils constricted sharply when he saw Olivia being held hostage at the edge of the cliff. "Let her go, I'll give you anything as long as you let her go." Gu Lingchuan clenched his hands tightly, his body already soaked with sweat. "You can give me anything?" Lily Lu asked suddenly. "Anything as long as you don't hurt her." The blade moved closer to Olivia Wen's neck. Lily Lu asked, "What if I said I want your life?" "You can have it." Without the slightest hesitation, Gu Lingchuan immediately agreed. You let her go and I'll put my life in your hands. Ling Chuan. Don't. Olivia Wen's eyes blurred with tears. She hadn't expected Gu Lingchuan to answer so decisively. Olivia, as long as you're okay, I'll do anything. Olivia, don't be afraid, I'll always be with you. Olivia Wen choked with emotion. You idiot, you're such an idiot. All of you shut up. Lily Lu suddenly shouted, bursting into a mix of tears and laughter. When Olivia, why is your life so good that one after another is willing to die for you? Do you know that because of you I lost a child? She didn't know she was pregnant with Fu Ethan's child when she was sent to prison, so she was beaten to miscarriage by the boss inside, and since then she lost the right to be a mother. But when Fu Ethan found out about this, he only said that she was not worthy, and ordered people to continue to abuse her even more. She only wanted Olivia Wen to die now, and for Ethan Fu to regret everything he had done to her. She kept backing away all the way to the edge of the cliff. Don't. Gu Lingchuan said fearfully, don't back away anymore, there's a cliff behind you. I'll trade myself for her, don't touch her. President Gu, your life is worthless to me. The cold wind howled as Lily Lu said coldly, my life is already ruined, my life is worthless, but since your fiancé is so valuable, then she can be buried with me. With that she suddenly raised the knife and stabbed it towards Olivia Wen's neck. No. Gu Lingchuan went crazy wanting to rush forward, but someone was faster than him. Gripping Lu Lily's knife, Fu Ethan didn't hesitate, pushing Olivia forward. Fu Ethan, it's actually you. Seeing the person before her, Lu Lily went mad, stabbing him repeatedly with the knife. Blood gushed out, but Fu Ethan didn't turn back, embracing Lu Lily as he charged towards the cliff. As his figure disappeared, he coughed up blood and with all his might managed to say, I'm sorry, in Olivia Wen's direction. 23 No one expected that Ethan Fu would rush out at the last moment, using his own life to protect Olivia Wen. Ling Chuan Gu held her tightly, comforting her. Don't be afraid, baby, it's all over, no one will hurt you anymore. The heart that had been hanging in her throat finally fell, and when Olivia threw herself into his arms, wailing, Idiot, you're such an idiot. 3 days later, the search and rescue team found their bodies at the foot of the mountain. Even in death, the two were inextricably intertwined, making it impossible to distinguish between their love and hate. Ethan Fu, did you ever think that the person who would die with you wouldn't be me but Lily Lu? Lily Lu died with a fractured skull, her face twisted in a grotesque expression. Ethan Fu, on the other hand, died from excessive blood loss. The police found a necklace in his hand, engraved with a capital F. He actually gave the thing to Olivia Wen, but she didn't even look at it, only saying, this isn't mine. If no one wants it, just throw it away. In the end, the necklace was taken away by the police and thrown into the junkyard. Olivia Wen and Ling Chuan Gu left hand in hand after taking one last look at the body. Ethan Fu, from now on we are even. However, she still wouldn't forgive him. All past loves and hates have faded with the wind. I only hope that we truly live by that saying. Never meet again for all eternity. When Olivia took Gu Lingchuan to the cemetery, where her parents and sister were buried. However, in the place belonging to her sister, there were no ashes, only a few pieces of clothing. She told Wen Yu about Fu Ethan and Lu Lily, her voice choked with emotion as she spoke. Xiao Yu, if you have a spirit and can see them down there, you must remember to stay far away. Wait for your sister to come find you and teach those who bullied you a lesson. As she spoke, she choked with sobs. Xiao Yu was raised by me since she was little. It's a pity she passed away too early and you never met. I have. What? Gu Lingchuan smiled and said, I've met her. I ran into her at a banquet. She said she was looking for her sister. It was just that he was still deeply trapped in autism at that time. He watched the stars with that little girl with heart disease for a long time, until her sister came to find her. It was because of this that the gentle one Olivia, who picked up her sister, walked into his heart and became the only light in his lonely world. When Olivia was stunned, then suddenly hugged him, silently shedding tears. That winter their wedding was held as scheduled. All the families in Shanghai came to congratulate them. The banquet lasted for 3 days and 3 nights and the scene was grand. Mr. Gu, do you take Miss Wen to be your wife? To have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do you part. Gu Lingchuan, I do. Ms. Wen, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband to have and to hold from this day forward for better for worse for richer for poorer in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do you part? I do. As they exchanged rings they smiled at each other. The moment the ring was on when Olivia suddenly said, "Let me tell you a secret, I'm pregnant." Gu Lingchuan's hand trembled and his eyes instantly turned red. The following year when Olivia gave birth to a daughter, she named her Gu Ningyu to commemorate Wenyu. On the day Gu Ningyu was born, a butterfly landed on her swaddling clothes, unwilling to leave for a long time. Olivia Wen leaned against Gu Lingchuan's chest, a look of happiness on her face. For the rest of her life she would be greeted with happiness.